I finished reading the book I really liked, and it's a book called A Walk in the Woods by Bryson. And this book I got to know because of the movie that a few years back I noticed there's a movie called A Walk in the Woods starring Robert Redford and Nick Nolte. And I think I saw the movie, but I didn't have much impression at the time. It was like a funny thing. Hikers, senior hikers story. But the book is something else. Book is a very, very enjoyable book. Is something that I get the inspiration, I get the encouragement, and I kind of admire that Bryson's research he did and how he wrote this book. And this book is about Bill Bryson. I think at that time he was like 47 years old, I think. But he had to be young, compared to the movie that Robert Redford is probably 60s or something, 70s maybe, even. Much younger than that. But it's about Appalachian Trail, and Appalachian Trail is it's a long, long trail. I think it's from Georgia to South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, New Hampshire, and Maine, all through that, Massachusetts and Vermont. And so all the East Coast area is kind of going from south to north or north to south. And so, that's the trail that everybody wants to do once in your lifetime, something like that. And when I studied, the book starts from the south area, the Georgia area, where, the movie called Deliverance, about Reynolds and John Boyd in it, and it's a very, very haunting type of mountains exploration, adventure type of movie. And so the book talk about that, to go into that area, and from there you go to the Smoky Mountains and the Shenandoah Valley and so forth, and very, very famous area. And but in the beginning, I think he kind of asked around who wants to come with me for the hike, because I don't want to hike by myself. I think it's much, much safer and nicer to hike with somebody. And so he kind of put out the notice to the old friends, and he got this response from his old friend. He used to, I think, hang out when he was younger. So his name is Stephan Katz. Stephan Katz joined Bill Bryson. Both of them is about probably age 50-ish, and but Steve is like not well prepared or obese a little bit, but it's in a good sports, and so they try to hike, and always Bryson was ahead, and Steve Katz is a little bit behind them, but they kind of finished partway, and but so that we had enough, and so we did so much, so and so they kind of stopped hiking, and then Bryson himself started to hike by himself, and that's a part 2. Part 1 is all together with Katz, and very very funny anecdotal incidents, and the person they meet along the way. The Mary Allen, for example, it's a very interesting and funny lady. Most of the time, this part 1 is about this human interactions among the hikers, and the descriptions of the people and so forth. And also mainly it's very very funny because Bill Bryson tend to write very very funny stories, funny conversations, and meeting with the quote unquote the bear in the dark, and all the animals, other animals as well, and so it's very very enjoyable. And the part 2 though, in the part way it goes to part 2 because the cat, Steve Katz, kind of oh, I had enough, so I go home, and he went home. I think in Iowa somewhere, and so he kind of decided to do by himself a little bit, but also toward the end, like all toward the end, like Pennsylvania, Maine, Vermont, the northeast area. Steve Katz joined the hike, and that was also kind of a very nice, very funny as well, but also very very kind of descriptions of danger of hike and so forth. So the ending is very emotional. I kind of my tear came out at the end, just because his writing is very very good, and also his love to the hiking itself, a mountain itself, and Steve Katz, all these things. It's like wow, I kind of enjoy this whole through, and but at the end it's oh yeah, it's ending, and so that was very very nice. So I recommend this book, Walk in the Wood, to anyone who are hikers, for example, especially senior hikers. I think you get a kick out of reading this 50 some years old people hiking, two men hiking, and along the way they meet lots of incidents, friends, fellow hikers, and lots of incidents of funny nature mostly, and but it's more or less it's like a historical the depictions of the Appalachian Trail, and how the Appalachian Trail came about, those peoples who built the Appalachian Trail, and also the fauna and the birds and all these things along the Appalachian Trail, and the bears and mountain lions. All these descriptions is very like a detail, precise, and also very scientifically documented, and well researched book here. And so I didn't know Bill Bryson before this, and now I got to know. So he has a whole host of other books which is kind of popular as well, and he is kind of a when he was like 20 some years old, he went to England and lived there, and his main residence is in England. Even though he was born in Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa, I think. He lived and lives in England, and he had lots of books about English language and Shakespeare and land of British land and so forth. And one of the book I just bought is because I like this book so much, I try to buy. I think I try to read most of the books or by him. So I started to buy. First book I bought is the Bill Bryson, The Body here, and it's about your body functions and all the anatomies and all these things here, and so it's very interesting type of book there, but it's a very scientific book, and so I kind of expect that I will be reading Bill Bryson other books as well for a while. Okay, thank you. Bye.